Greg Lammers is the founder of and an organizer for Columbia Atheists in Columbia, Missouri, working closely with the University of Missouri's Free Thought Group. He has served as Missouri State Director of American Atheists and is currently the National Affiliate Director for American Atheists, working with community and student groups throughout the U.S. Please welcome Mr. Greg Lammers.
Hey. Oh, I guess I got talking to this, don't I? Or just yell. Thanks for coming out. I know there's a lot of other cool talks you could be at, so thanks for being in here, and thanks for being at the Secular Student Alliance Conference. I think the Secular Student Alliance is a wonderful organization and they've done a lot of great things. They've done a lot of good things for a lot of student groups, and they're going to continue to do a lot of great things for a lot of student groups and for the secular movement. And they deserve all of our effort, our support. Well, not all of our support, because American Atheists deserve your support also. And but they deserve our support, our effort, our time, our blood, sweat, and tears, those sort of things. And so, are you feeling the secular vibe this morning? Feeling the secular love, you heathens? A little bit. It's a little early. Okay. I'm Greg Lammers. I'm the National Affiliate Director for American Atheists, and I'm also a local organizer for a local group in a university town, Columbia, Missouri, which the University of Missouri is at. And we have a university group there called SASHA, which is the Skeptics, Atheists, Secular Humanists, and Agnostics group. And I think they named that to spite me, because I have a tongue thrust, a little bit of a lisp, so they put as many S's in the name as they could, just so that I couldn't say it as fast as some others. But I think I've given this talk a number of times over the years, and it's called How to Shamelessly Use Community Groups for Everyone's Benefit. And I think going forward I'm going to lop off the how-to and just call it Shamelessly Use Your Local Community Group for Everyone's Benefit. Because every time I talk to university and student leaders, you all have more to tell me than I do you about things you're doing. You come up with amazing ideas that I would never have considered. So I feel a little odd sometimes standing up here going, well, I'm the expert on this, and this is how to communicate with your local community group, when so many are doing it already. So I'm becoming more of a cheerleader for this rather than a how-to. I think whenever we are involved in anything, we should really ask fundamental questions, the basic questions all the time. Why are we doing what we're doing, and which will lead to how we are doing what we're doing and what we will do. And why do we start university groups? Why do we start community groups? And what do we want to get out of them? What do we want others to get out of them? And what purpose do we want them to serve? What do we want them to provide for the community at large? And I think we need to continue to ask ourselves these, because the answers change. I know I have tentative answers, and I hope my answers are open to change even tomorrow, and I hope others are as well. And they do change as you go along. You may start a group, like I started a Columbia Atheists, just because no one else had started Columbia Atheists. I kept looking around on the internet for a while, and you know, looking at, and no one else had started a group, and I didn't know anything about starting a group, but no one else had, so I did it. And you could tell in our early meetings that's why I started the group, because I had no clue what I was. And we started out as a quarter Christian as well. Hemant mentioned a high school group that was quarter Christian in his last talk. We had four people at our first meeting, and one was a Catholic, so we were originally quarter Christian too. And she kept coming for a long time. She was really cool. She unfortunately moved away, but So if you're a university or student group leader, who here is a leader in a student group or a university group, high school group, anything? Okay. And who here are leaders in community groups, organizations? Okay. All right, so we've got quite a few of both. Should you plug into the larger community? If you're a community group leader, a local group leader, if you're a university or high school group leader, should you be plugged into the larger community? And some people will just say, well, of course, you know. Well, yeah, maybe. Maybe there are obvious reasons, but maybe there aren't. Why does your group, what's the purpose of your group? If it's a high school group, which their main purpose is to support high schoolers, then that's what you've got to do first. And if that's all you have the time and energy for in the school year, then that's what you've got to do. And if you're able to branch out into the larger community and focus on community activity after that, that's good. But you should see what your goals are first, and make sure you maintain yourself. When they say before you take care of others, you got to take care of yourself. That goes for a group also, I think. But I think, let's say you're a high school leader or a university group leader, and you don't have the time, the manpower to really engage a whole lot. You don't have a lot of people to send to a local community groups meetings all the time. And here I'm just talking about just secular atheist groups, free thought groups. We can also, there's no reason not to reach out to groups that share our goals politically, or any other type goals we might have. I've seen groups partner with like a National Organization for Women on activities, things like that. So just because a local group doesn't call themselves the atheists of this, they may share a lot of common goals with us, and so we should look at that as well. But say you're a group leader, university or high school, and you should at least make contact and make sure that your local community group knows you're there. And you may find it funny, just because you have a Facebook page and even a Twitter account or something, your local group may not know you're there. Not everyone is on Facebook. I know. I often in fact say everyone's on Facebook. That's why I'm on Facebook. But actually, everyone's not on Facebook, and so you may have to go chase someone down. You may have to find that group. Maybe they're on Meetup. Maybe they meet in an apartment, once a month. You may have to find them. But those groups can be a great asset for your group. Community groups can be a great asset. And university and student groups can be a great asset, because we need each other, because we bring a lot of different things to the table. I'll start first with the usual list of things I go down. And I'll start with money. Student groups oftentimes don't have a lot of money, especially if they're not funded. If you get a windfall of funding from your university or your campus or your school, then that's awesome. But a lot of groups don't. Community groups often have money and resources that they are more than willing to share if a local student group comes to them with ideas and energy and new approaches. Because a lot of times that group is sitting there, that community group is sitting there, they've been doing the same thing every month for decades, with the same people at the same coffee shop. And when a student group comes in and says, we want to do this, all we need is this. We need a venue, or we need a few bucks. A lot of times they'll get really enthused about that, and they'll want to back you. And I would approach it just about like that. Say, we want to do this, and make sure it's something really, really, exciting. Not like we just want to go down and hang out at the rest area or something. They probably won't throw in much money at that. But make it something exciting. Tell them we want to do this. It's something really cool, and we need this money for it. And this is how much money we need. Would you all be willing to go in with that? And if they have the resources, more than often they will. Especially if they like you, if you're wearing your deodorant and everything, Venues, a lot of these people in community groups are restaurant owners or business owners. They have a lot of access to the community, or they know people. They know reporters. They know the television station. They have a lot of access. Sometimes that if you're a college student, you just come from out of town, you may not know the lay of the land like they do. So they have expertise. And you need to invite them to your group. Tell them to come on down, and I've found that sitting in when I visit university groups or student groups, I'm always blown away by at least one person and how sharp they are and how I wish I'd been that sharp when I was their age. Someone has really studied philosophy or biology or physics, and they know a lot more about it than I do, and they're only 19. And I'm angry and also impressed. And that's really great to have at university groups. But you'd also be amazed at when a plumber or a mailman or mail delivery person, mail carrier comes in, the things these people will know, and the experiences they'll have to share, and the knowledge that they have. And you need that, you get insulated in your group and your kind of people. You need outside voices, I feel. And yeah, that's just a baseless assertion I made, so you can challenge me later. You can come up to me later and say, damn, I don't need outside input from. And by the way, I probably won't do questions and answers after this because I'm trying to hurry a little bit, but I'll be around all weekend. So definitely catch me. I'll be at the American Atheists table, or standing by a wall looking around like I'm lost or whatever. Please come up and say hi. Any questions or dialogue you want to have, I'm usually open. If I'm not open to a certain dialogue, I'll say, no thanks, not now, And criticism, definitely criticism. I think that's how we improve, I hope. Even if it's something like, damn, you're short, That's not really constructive criticism. I can't really do a lot with that information. I'm pretty much done growing, but I'm cognizant of being short, and so, if you said that, I'd be like, yeah, I know. But I can't really do much about it. So. Yeah, you have to find them where they is. They may not be on Facebook. They may not be on the web at all. But a lot of times they will be carrying a lot of memory of the movement. And I hope most young leaders of groups, most group leaders, period, I should say new group leaders, because not all of us are young, as young as others. I hope we're all interested in the history of the movement of free thought in America. And a lot of these people in your local groups have been around and have been involved in a lot of things that you often don't know ever happened. It may have just been 15, 20 years ago. We have an organization in St. Louis called the Rationalist Society of St. Louis, which, as far as we know, is the longest continuously meeting free thought group in America. They've been meeting in the same apartment since the 1940s, the same apartment building. And they also meet in a library too. But they have people in that group who, one of their members used to, when Madeleine O'Hare would travel, when her and her family would travel, when they would stop in St. Louis, they would stay at these people's houses. So, they can tell stories about, when we had to take Madeline shopping because she had a speech that night and her luggage got lost, or something like that, Those are the things you don't read about in our newsletters often. And usually with this, I'm going to wrap this up really quick here. And usually with this talk, I talk about money, venues, things like that. I talk about worldly, secular, pragmatic considerations of why we should connect with other groups and with the free thought movement. And and you all here, it's kind of preaching to the choir. You're here, you're obviously involved with the secular movement outside your area. But I'm going to end with something that's just as important. Often, when I've given this talk before, I've had people say, well, or ask me, group leaders say, well, what do I do when I have a member come up to me and they say, well, I don't want to go hang out with the old people. I don't want to go hang out with, why do I want to do that, you know? Well, what do you say if you had a member come up and say, I don't want to go hang out with a women's group. I don't want to go hang out with any particular group. I'd say, my answer has always been, just cut the crap. Just tell them, look, it's a 60-year-old isn't someone who's a 20-year-old who just woke up and decided to be 60 yesterday morning to spite you. It's not something they just decided to do, you know. And they have a lot to offer, and you get the same thing coming the other way too. You'll get local group members who are like, man, I don't want to. You can't park on campus. I don't know where. I get lost every time I go down there. I end up in the ag building, you know, and you have to fight that inertia and just say, look, obviously you can't make an individual do something, but we need to get past that on both sides. And it's not something that's overwhelming, but it's something that's common. I've seen it enough to make note of it. Because in the end, I think we all need each other. We need as many allies, as many friends as we can gather. The movement's growing. The free thought community, the atheist community is growing, but we're still not everyone, and a lot of us are still isolated out in little pockets in all kinds of places. And the more we can connect with each other, and the more we can support each other, that's really what it comes down to. So I just want to say, please connect with local groups. If there's not, say you're a university leader, if there's not a community group in your community, see about starting one. You have graduates every year. If anyone's staying around, get them to start a meetup and start working toward a constant presence in your town or your area. Reach out, if there's a group a couple hours down the road, reach out to them, see if they want to come to one of your events. Make it an exciting event. Have punch and pie or something, you know. And maybe they'll come down. But please reach out to each other. And I guess that's the final message on that. And so I'll bid you adieu.
We can take like one short question if you want.
Sure. Daryl, I saw your hand first.
Yeah, mine's more a comment because I do book touring a lot, and I show up at a place and I'm ready to give a talk, and I find out the local meetup group hasn't even let the university know I'm around. Or I go to a university and I find out they don't even know if a meetup group, I know a meetup group exists, but the kids don't.
Right.
Sorry, the university students don't. And it's infuriating that these two groups are sitting within miles of each other and don't even know each other exists. I take the try and say, be sure and let everybody know, and they still don't do it. So there's a lot of inertia to get over in this stuff, and it's really, really frustrating.
It does seem, I agree with you. I feel like when I'm saying that, and like what you just said, seems almost obvious that, why would this happen? But it does, repeatedly. And, and even, I've noticed, like, even with our groups, like our local university group and community group, when leaders go in and out, sometimes you have to reestablish connections. You've had a great working relationship with so-and-so, the next person comes along and they won't email you or something, So you really have to it's not just doing it once. You really have to continue it. And yeah, like you said, it really seems like, I agree with you completely. It's amazing how insulated we can become. And So yeah, I agree. Yes.
Can I just share a strategy? I'm in the secular humanist Jewish group in the Washington, D.C. area, and every Darwin Day...
I love the secular humanist Jewish group.
So my best friends are secular humanist Jewish. Every Darwin Day, we plan ahead for a speaker that would be relevant to all the secular groups in the Coalition of Reason of the Washington, D.C. area, and invite everybody to what is our routine every other Sunday adult education. So have breakfast, food, and so that way every February we're creating something, we're inviting people from the different groups, and that might lead a person who's a member of one group to also join a second group, and you know, everybody sets up the table and the literature, and I feel really strongly about doing that so we keep meeting each other. So I think Darwin
awesome.
Day, and then you get the post, you know, your Darwin Day event on the Darwin Day website, and there's that. But anyway, that's a good time to capture.
Yeah, anything like that's really good. And yeah, I love it when I see people who are in another state join a group just to follow along. You know, join the Facebook group even if they're in, you know, wherever. You know, I don't expect them to come to a meeting anytime soon. You know, but at least they're paying attention and yeah, that's awesome. We should do more of that. So.
We're done.
Anyone else?
Time to go.
Time to go. All right.